healthcare in Mexico. We'll kick things off with that. Hold on a second. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Drive 2. As we head, this time we're not going to practice, we're actually going to a little private event, but I got Scott Kemp, my old roommate, my old enemy on the field, played for the Ironmen, we'll get over to all that stuff. Currently retired, now doing who knows what, eating something really stinky out of that box. Mm-hmm. Of course, we went to Whole Foods, and in the back seat next to my car seat is Mikko Huttunen from, Ironman also, right? And then this is gonna be a fun drive too, because we're gonna talk about several odd jobs that the two of these guys have been doing over the last several years, and life after paintball, even though Mikko is still heavily involved in paintball one way or another, and Scott just can't seem to get away out here. So because of our proximity to Mexico, which is literally 15 minutes south of here, we were just talking about healthcare in Mexico, and I think what Mikko, you were saying you just kind of went and got all your oil checked.
Yeah, the full engine check.
The full engine check for $50.
$50, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's like,
So how do you find these places?
Well, I don't know if anybody knows, but we actually have a paint factory down there, called Recoil.
One of your many other side projects.
Yep. So I go there 3 days a week, and we have good contacts through Mike Preto down there. So basically, we have a couple of doctor friends, and they basically recommend where to go.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. Instead of giving an arm and leg out here in the US, you can go 50 minutes south and get it down $50.
And what do they give you at the end? Instead of giving you a prescription of painkillers, they give you some pesos and tell you to line your bed around with pesos to keep the evil spirits out?
Pretty much.
I only say that because Arturo jokes about it, but for some reason there's always a bunch of coins and pesos around his bed, and there was a bunch of coins stacked up around the bathtub one time. It was like, what do you do that? And he's like, oh, it keeps the evil spirits away. I'm sorry, that accent was very distasteful. I apologize for that immediately. But
that's what he sounds like.
That is what he sounds like.
It's not racist.
Yeah. Anyway, have you ever gotten any dental work down there?
No.
My fiance Camille's mom goes down there all the time.
Yeah, I know where to go. But
yeah, I hear it's the way to do it.
Yeah. I also have a healthcare in Finland, so I do my dental stuff in Finland.
Oh, so if you're but you have to get a plane ticket all the way to Finland to get it done.
But I go there twice.
If you got a cavity, it's not worth paying.
I go once or twice a year there, so it's
okay.
But if I would have to go get something done, definitely Mexico.
So is your healthcare in Europe covers dental also?
Yeah.
That's strange, because I feel like a lot of Europeans have really bad teeth.
Right?
Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe that's not a public announcement.
I think
They just smoke and drink a lot.
What are you eating?
It's the constant smoking. And
wide variety. I got potatoes, eggs, and this little cucumber salad.
Something really smells like vinegar. Did you put vinegar all over it, or something's either bad in there, or... Speaking of
we'll find out later.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So speaking of a wide variety, I want to. That was actually one of the things that I would like to talk to you. I wanted to talk to you about. So you retired from paintball. I feel like maybe you didn't think that through all the way, but you retired. Okay, so what are you doing? Let's get a list of the side projects, what the things that you're doing. I mean, obviously the gym is the coolest of them all. Today you're going to be the head referee, which seems like it might be a step backwards in the paintball career. But let's. What have you been doing since paintball?
So, when I retired, I was trying to open up a gym with my buddy, and we had the whole business model laid out. We had this whole vision of storefront brick and mortar gym, and we just couldn't get it going, couldn't get the finances properly lined up and the lease for any buildings that we wanted. So a year goes by of not being able to pursue this new business that wasn't the reason why I retired. I retired for several reasons, but just ready to make a career change and pursue something greater than going through the motions of playing pro paintball and doing clinics and selling guns, to make ends meet, which is awesome, and I love doing that for a decade plus. But from my eyes, there was no big growth coming in soon, and there was
that TV deal isn't in sight anymore.
Yeah, the TV deal is not in sight, and every year I'm just getting older, and it's like, okay, well, what am I? Do I want to do this until I'm 45, and then what do I do? So I had the opportunity to pursue a career that would have a lot of growth to it. So that's where I took that path. But not being able to get that gym opened up, I came up with the idea of a mobile gym, which was just scaling the business down. So using the same brand and logos and all that stuff with my same business partner, we were able to just scale down instead of having a brick and mortar. I found this really cool company out in Boston that makes these custom fitness trailers, and we had one designed, shipped out here, got it wrapped, got the website all done, got the equipment list done, and the goal was to do mobile classes so we can set up at public parks or at private residents or private businesses. And still very new concept. Got it in the late October of last year, and we haven't had the best weather from then till now. It's actually turning around exponentially right now, so it's a great time to start getting things rolling. But that's been my big project that I want to get rolling and make happen. But in the meantime, haven't had any income coming in through that. So when I was living off of paintball, I don't have paintball anymore. I'm not doing clinics. I don't have a gun deal. And finances aren't coming in through any other sources. So I had to start getting crafty. On the fence of, do I get a full-time job? Well, if I get a full-time job, it's going to take away the time that I need to do the mobile gym. I need daytime free, and I need to be able to work on that if I get bookings throughout the day. And how can I make income and sustain?
Airbnb, baby.
So first, I actually was talking with a buddy about this, and he was like, hey, work at a restaurant. You can get like night gigs as a bartender or server, and just work the night shifts, and then you'll have the days open. I'm like, that would be great, and it's also really good money, but I have zero experience in the serving industry. And he was like, dude, it's fine. There's a ton of new places. Seton, our buddy, he's a bartender. So he was like, there's a ton of new places opening up constantly. They'll hire you. You got a good personality.
What, like 3 nights a week and make 6 figures?
Yeah, he kills it. He has a great setup. He's a bartender, and he just has like the perfect setup going. So he was like, I'll let you know if I hear of anything opening up. So this new restaurant opens up downtown San Diego, and he sends me the link, and he's like, hey, they're hiring. You should hop in. And I was like, all right. And I drive down there, and I was like, man, do I really want to work at a restaurant, like serving people? This is weird. After playing pro paintball, traveling the world, signing autographs, now I'm like bussing tables and taking people's orders, and it felt degrading. So I drive by the restaurant, I see them doing interviews on the patio. I drove past, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do a lap. If I can find a parking spot, I'll go in for the interview. If I can't find a parking spot, I'm not going. So I do a lap. I found one spot. I was like, okay, I got to go in. Why not? I can decide if I want the job or not after, if they even offer it to me. So went in, sat down. My whole resume is personal training stuff. And I told him, I was like, hey, as you can see, my resume is stacked with personal training and entrepreneurship and paintball, sports. I had to explain that to him. I have zero experience in the serving industry, but I'm open to learn. And if you guys have the time to train me, I would love to take the position. And they called me back a few days later, and they gave me the job. So, which is really rare, because usually you got to start out as a busser. I got a serving position. So that's been cool, because they give me night shifts, and it's good money. Also so that's one of my sources of income. Sorry, the long story on that. Also doing online training, which I've been doing for a long time, even throughout paintball. Last year I did a ton of the the challenges. If you guys are familiar, I was doing
I love
these 30-day
those. I think
challenges.
those are great. You should keep doing those.
And I was thinking about doing more. The thing is, they're very time consuming because when I do these challenges, I get 50 to 100 people signed up.
And so for anybody who doesn't know, so I lived with Scott for the last, 5, 7, 10 years, something like that. And so over the last year and a half or maybe even longer, he was doing these 30-day transformation change challenges. So basically, you sign up, and I think you win $1,000. It's $100 to sign up. The winner wins $1,000, and it's basically you start with a weight and a goal, and the person who transforms their body the most by either losing weight or gaining muscle or some combination between the two wins the prize. I think that's a genius idea.
Yeah, well, and so why I haven't done any this year is because they're very time consuming. 6-8 hour days of being on the computer, answering check-ins and adjusting and making the meal plans and training programs. Because when I do these, it's crunch time, 30 days, working with 50 to 100 people at a time. And I'm constantly, responding to people's check-ins and doing adjustments and sending out new plans and stuff like that. So in order to be a good coach and deliver a good service, I have to be tied to that, and it is a lot of work. And so I kind of stepped away from that this year to free me up for the mobile gym stuff. I might do a few this year, but yeah, so kind of getting work positioned so that I can have the availability to focus on the new business. So I have been taking on clients. I haven't been promoting myself as an online coach, but when people reach out to me, I take clients on. So I do have a small handful of active clients right now, which is what I wanted. I didn't want to have a whole boatload of 50 to 100, but 4 or 5 at a time is great, and I can sustain that.
So if you're looking to get into shape, they can hit you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just not too many of you.
Just not too many of you.
Don't everybody loves it, but he needs money, but he doesn't have too much time.
And then
just a couple. Just a couple.
And then another source of income. I got like 7 channels of income right now. It's crazy. I also have my ebooks on my website that's on the shelf. So those I sell a handful of those every month. So that's a little bit more coin in my pocket.
You got to diversify.
Yeah, and then my newest source of income, which is my greatest one of all time, I mean, this one crushes paintball.
This is playing with Iron Man.
Great. So I live in a little single bedroom townhouse cottage style deal close to the beach. Well, it's not like you take an elevator up apartment complex. They're very small, like single story and 2-story units, Spanish style, 5-minute walk to the beach, great location. My buddy lives in the same complex, and he was telling me that he puts his place on Airbnb from time to time, makes, $150 a night, easy money, goes, sleeps in his girlfriend's house. So I threw mine up there on Airbnb to see if I'd get some bites, with Ryan having a guest room and Young Grasshopper having a guest room, so I got places to crash.
You didn't want to crash, no girlfriends?
No, we're single right now, so, that one.
So shoot him an email also if you're interested in filling that position.
Yep, that position's open.
Do you charge for... It could be another revenue stream.
If you have a place for me to stay in San Diego, we could work out a deal.
Yeah.
So I started posting my place on Airbnb, started getting a ton of hits, and then Ryan's fiance, Camille, her mom lives down in San Diego. She moved down to help take care of their newborn that they have. She has an extra room, and Camille and her mom reached out to me and were like, hey, since you're renting your place out a ton, would you want to rent out her room? She lives on the beach.
Even closer to the beach.
On the water, cool little 2-bedroom. And I was like, possibly, what's the deal here? So she's charging me a very low rent because she wanted to get somebody in there, but she knows me, so she hooked me up on a good rate. Put my place out for this entire month. We're in March right now, and I got every single day booked out in March. My rent's $1,500 over there, and I got $3,600 of Airbnb rentals. paid my rent more than 2 times, as well as covered what I have to pay for my new roommate, Camille's mom, and then money left over. And it's super easy gig because all I do is I go there, clean up the place, and then turn it around. So I'll do that again next month as well.
What's the worst thing that you have to clean up? Like
the toilet every time. People are disgusting, dude. They're blowing out. I mean, this lady and her like 4-year-old kid stayed at my place, and she did work in the toilet. I mean, I got to get on my hands and knees with gloves and just scrub every time. It's like when these people stay at a place that's not theirs, they're just disgusting creatures, animals. So yeah, they're just destroying my place. I don't even want to blacklight my spot, you know. But it's their spot now. But it's paying for
it's their spot now.
But it's paying for my rent, and it's, you know, the time to clean it up, turn it around, post it. I mean, you can't go wrong. And rolling into summertime, I'll make maybe close to double what I am now.
So that's another thing. If you're coming to San Diego and you need a place to stay, hit up Scott.
Yeah, we'll get you on a deal.
Yeah, you can get a deal.
I'll give you a promo code.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, now I'm with Ryan's fiance's mom. So
what does that make Ryan do?
Potentially, if you guys think about it, I can be Ryan's father-in-law.
Yes.
If I play my cards right.
You play your cards right.
So we go out in public. I'm going to introduce him. This is my son-in-law, Ryan. Give him a pat on the head always, you know, because he's shorter than me.
They're sleeping in separate rooms.
For now,
well,
it's
actually,
still,
I don't even know why
still early.
I think it's funny. Camille doesn't like the joke as much.
She's cringing when she watches this.
Yeah, right. Camille's not going to watch this. No, she doesn't.
Yeah. So that's my hustle right now as I work on my other business. Mm-hmm. It gives me the maximum amount of time and the time frames that I need while I try to pursue a business. And then who knows? Maybe I'll come join Dynasty if they can't win an event this year. Next.
Yeah, zing. What's so as we're going forward with just the massive amount of projects that he has, Mikko, who retired, what year did you retire, Mikko? 2013.
Well, I'm still Mexico pro.
Oh, you're still a pro in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenny Power stuff.
That's Kenny Powers.
That's great.
I won DJ championships last time.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Champion.
So Mikko is out there beating up on the Hispanic players. Won the TJ championship. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Oh yeah. There
Oh
is.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a bigger prize money
or
than
part
NXL.
of a yeah, probably. That's right. Yeah. Part of a paintball manufacturing company.
Yeah.
You work for Push. You're a cameraman. I saw you in Vegas. You were taking pictures, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
that was
do
Push.
you need any pictures taken of you?" I'm like, "Our games are done." You go, "All right, cool. Well, I got a camera and I got a field pass, so let me know."
No, so yeah, that was for Push mostly.
Yeah, you got a bunch of stuff. So a little bit shorter of a version than what Scott drug out right there.
Yeah. So yeah, we started a sunglass company called Ovan.
Oh, the sunglasses.
Yeah. So that's
shout out to William
that's
Painter.
been kind of going on for 3-4 years. Slowly growing.
They're actually cool sunglasses. I will have to admit, these are nice. Japanese sunglasses. Japanese.
Slowly
lenses.
going forward, and then we started the paintball manufacturing business. So we actually make paintballs.
Make paintballs in Mexico.
With Mike Brito.
Yep.
Some people might know him. So that's going really well. The brand is Recoil, and that's down in. We only sell in Central America and South America.
Okay. No U.S. sales?
No, we don't sell in U.S., but we do. We might make paintballs somewhere else. So
yeah, you might.
So that's how it works. And then
you may or may not have shot Recoil paintballs. In your career.
Yeah. And then I work for Push, and then I guess the most random side projects are like I've been always doing photos since I was like a little kid and like doing video. I did a bunch of stuff for Dye and everybody else when I used to work. And so now I've been just taking more gigs.
Yeah.
Making more money for even like just random companies like, sports companies, to fashion stuff, to we were webcasting Kaboo last year, the big festival.
Oh, that's right. You worked for that big Kaboo festival.
Yeah.
Did you say something about Coachella?
Yeah, well, that's my latest one. So my buddy hits me up.
Are you taking photos?
No,
Oh.
this is better. So my buddy hits me up like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, are you gonna go Coachella?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You want to go?" I'm like, "Well, what's the deal?" So he's an old pro snowboarder. You met him actually back in the Aspen days.
Okay.
So he hits me up like he now owns like a top 10 Mexican restaurant in Puerto Escondido, but dude is from New York, so it's like, but he's like a top chef. So he's doing a VIP tacos at the VIP section.
No way.
So now it's me, Joel, who's my business partner with sunglasses, Justin, my buddy Justin, and him. We're gonna go do the VIP taco shop in the Coachella. So if you need tacos and you're in Coachella, you can see me. I'll give you some extra guac.
Extra guac.
Extra guac.
Hey, guac's usually $1.65 extra, but I got you because you watched the drive too. Yeah.
Let them know you watched this.
So
that sounds like a dangerous crew.
So anyway, so we're gonna go do
in a dangerous town.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go do that and also stagecoach.
Do you know how to? I mean, like, do you have to cook, or you just you're cooking?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but
It's
I'm sure I'll
tacos.
figure it out.
I know it's tacos, but like,
Make sure you cook the meat all the way through.
Well, these guys like Travis and the guy who's actually like doing it, they're like top dudes, you know. Like,
right.
They're really good. So I'm sure, I don't care. I'll do Kemp's job and serve.
Yeah.
I'll get the tips.
Yeah, you'll figure it out quick.
Exactly.
Yeah, I bet you. I'll bet you get some fat tips from the
I've
VIP
been
section.
practicing the taco trick though. When you scoop the salsa and you do the.
That is a move, huh?
Yeah.
Like you go like that.
So I don't know, for, making paintballs in Mexico, working at a taco shop in the U.S. I think I'm doing it right. You know?
Just make sure you get rid of that cold that you have. Nobody wants their taco man sneezing and coughing all over.
It's been
Miko's. We were talking about it when we were getting breakfast. Miko's had a cold for the last 4 years straight.
At least 4 years.
There's a break.
He came over to my house and
heavy mucus coughs for 4 years.
Yeah.
Sneeze on my baby.
Sneeze on my baby. How old is she? Achoo. Does she have her shots?
It's not contagious.
It's not contagious. You have everything.
It's like asthma.
Is that what the Mexican doctor told you for $50?
No.
Don't worry.
No, I didn't do any of that stuff.
Okay. So we've all. Mikko, you surf forever. Scott just took it up. Scott's turning into a young Kelly Slater here.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
He's crushing it.
He's about to shave his head.
Yeah. He's about to shave his head. Let's talk about. Let's see here, because Scott, you've been surfing quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe make this. What do you? Because that literally that's your thing now. That is 100%. I remember when you went down to that wedding in Mexico, because I've always been trying to get Scott to go to start surfing, and he just didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Mm.
You went down to that wedding in Mexico. Speaking of Mexico, it's just seems like a common theme here.
That's our spot.
That's our spot. Then you came back. You're like, I'm gonna start surfing.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about surfing the most? Like, why do you like it so much? What do you?
A lot of factors, but it is therapeutic. It's like you're really just like you're really focused on surfing at the time. You know, all your worries or stress or whatever is going on in life is out the window because you have to be so in tune, especially when there's big waves. You are completely like dialed in with the ocean. You know, you have to be aware of your surroundings constantly, of the waves. It's a very technical sport. It's very hard too to progress. It's hard to start and to get onto your feet. It took me several months to actually be able to get to my feet on a wave, and then once you actually do get to your feet, to be able to ride the wave and maneuver is a whole nother ball game. And so I have huge respect for it. Competing, my whole life in paintball, I just have that huge respect for competition, and every time you go out you get a little bit better. It's also fun because you go out with your friends and you're rooting each other on. You get a good wave and you're like, oh, did you see that, or did you see that turn, how much water did I splash out the back? So it's really fun. Like, I'll go out by myself too. It's super fun to go out by yourself, but it's also really fun to go out with your buddies. The whole process of getting in the cold water and the sun out, and it's a workout too, and I've always been active and love working out, so that's a great form of cardio. So yeah, there's a lot of factors I love about surfing.
I think it's also one of the things is like it's one of the only, I guess, activities, sports, things that I do that really like gets my heart racing. You know, like it's really exhilarating. You know, like we surfed just the other day, and that wave that I caught was massive, and just hucking yourself over the edge right there is. I know that I'm landing in water, and underneath, like 2 or 3 feet underneath that water is like hard packed sand. Oh, it's still scary. Hard packed sand.
You still get worked, you know, if you
or reef or something like that. Yeah, if you don't land it, and then you're just getting somersaulted around, and like there's definitely a risk factor. But just looking down, what would be, you know, off the second story of a building, or 10 feet down, and just going, here we go. Yeah, I now have to throw this thing underneath, get my feet underneath me, and then somehow go alongside of it's still that thing.
It's very humbling. Like, anytime you get cocky, the ocean beats you down.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Is like, you know, Mikko, we've surfed every time that Mikko and I surf. It seems like is always on like a bigger or a stormier day, and it's super hard to paddle out.
Oh yeah.
And by the time I see Mikko, you get out of the line, and you're like, oh dude,
it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Like, you know,
you get beat up.
You get beat up, right? It is. That's a good way of putting it too. It's really humbling to go out there because the ocean is just so powerful.
But then when you get that one wave,
it just makes your day.
It makes your day.
Makes your day. Makes your week. Always. You're absolutely right. And I mean, even what we went out yesterday was probably the worst conditions I've ever surfed in my life. As a matter of fact, I saw you guys on the beach, and I'm like, I'm not even going to get in the water, which would have been the first time that I've ever put a full wetsuit on, and then been convinced that I'm just going to take it off and go home.
You guys, he's too good now.
You guys convinced me to go in the water, and it was absolutely terrible. And it was actually, did you know that yesterday was the coldest water temperature day on record?
Really?
Yeah.
I felt like it was colder.
No, it was 54.
The sun was out, so it like tricks your mind.
Well, the sand, no, what tricked your mind is the sand was so cold. Yeah, he wears booties. Yeah, the sand was so cold. The sand was frigid, ice cold in the shade, because we surfed at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And the water temperature was warmer than the sand, so that's kind of goes for something. Mikko, have you ever traveled to go surfing?
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd you go? Don't say Mexico.
I actually surfed Taiwan a lot when I used to go to Taiwan.
Right.
Which is like, when you first start going, there's like nobody. And now it's becoming like a surf destination. Like, it's like totally tropical, world-class waves.
It is.
And then I went Bali.
Okay.
Brazil.
Okay.
That's about it.
What's your favorite, now on that, what's your favorite place to travel? We've asked, like Yosh and all those guys about that.
You know, like, obviously I love to go home, back to Finland.
Okay.
It's awesome. I'm going there for like a month and a half this summer. And but I would say second, my favorite place is Brazil. And it's mostly because I know so many friends from there.
Right.
And I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like all the activities and stuff. And I've been there so many times, so it's easy to go, you know? So
okay.
Those are the favorite places.
What's your worst travel experience?
Iran.
Oh yeah? Why was that?
I got sick in the first day and it's miserable. And
like food poisoning sick, or?
Yeah, I never want to go back.
Okay. What? It wasn't like a nice town or nice?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We played a tournament. You went there, right?
Did you go to that tournament?
No.
I've never been.
No, it was Oliver Nikki and somebody else.
In Kish Island or something, right?
Kish Island.
Yeah. So you didn't go to Tehran?
No, but it's basically the same thing almost.
You heard it's really nice.
No, it's not.
But yeah, I'm Jewish. I'm not going to go out there. I don't play that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but I feel like I would love to. There's a lot of paintball in Iran, but there's just a little bit of a political,
problems.
Well, it's just.
Do they have Millennium teams?
Yes, I believe so. There's that team Datis is from Iran. Those guys are cool. They're really cool guys.
Yeah.
And paintball people always are really cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the politics in everybody else's countries are not cool.
About that, so.
Have you traveled to go surfing ever?
No.
Where would you travel to go surfing if you could? You could leave. If we could just flip a Yui and not go to the paintball field.
What's that one that keeps targeting me in my newsfeed that I keep showing you?
There's the Nicaragua one, or there's or Mentwise.
Yeah, we'll go Mentwise.
Yeah. That's
They know that I'm progressing, so ads are crazy. It's like you think of something and all of a sudden it's in your newsfeed.
They saw the surf cam. The surf cam saw Scamp with facial recognition drop in and roll up the windows, and then
up the windows,
and then do this, and then they're like, let's send him the beginner surf camp thing.
Oh, please.
And then a month later, it's like, see him, and then it's like he didn't roll up the windows, and he's like wiggles though, like this. He wiggles a lot, and then comes back and goes, "Did you see all that spray?" And now they're like,
Wiggles.
they're like, "This guy's ready for the intermediate surf camp."
Oh,
Let's target him with ads. What other ads do you get targeted?
what else did I get targeted? Oh, a lot of like fitness stuff.
It's kind of crazy. Like you literally say something random. Like I don't remember what I did.
Oh yeah, you talk about like roofing or something, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, you obviously live on the roof. It's like I rent my
I
place.
don't own a house.
Where are your favorite travel destinations, and what's the worst trip you've ever been on, or the weirdest or funniest?
I've always loved Latin America. It's all very similar from Mexico to Central to South America. They're all very similar as far as, except when you get like way south, like Chile, it'll be different temperatures, but they're all very similar climates wise.
Okay.
It's like warm tropical weather. The foods are, very similar, and mostly the currency is, weaker than ours, so everything's cheaper. And I've always loved going places like that. So yeah, South America, Central, Mexico. I mean, we can drive down. Those have always been great times for me.
What
My
is
worst?
Yeah, what's been your worst, or like just like a strange, lousy
I don't really have like a bad
experience?
Well, I wouldn't say like, oh, I don't like that country, or that was a horrible place, I don't ever want to go back. But I'll tell you a story that worked me good.
Yeah.
Is when I was playing in Europe. It was like my first year playing in the Millennium, and I was playing for Lisbon Benfica, Portuguese team, and went out to Portugal, and then we went out to an event in Spain. And first night we go out, we have drinks. Little Hugo, the captain of the team, little Hugo. I was like, "Hey, can I drink the water out of the sink?" And he was like, because he was drinking it, right? I didn't know any better. I'm like 22 years old, like first time in Europe, and he's just chugging the water out of the sink. And when it's like you're in different countries, or you hear about going in different countries, like don't drink the water. Well, he's just downing it. So I'm like, "Oh, you can drink the water." And he's like, "Oh yes, it's good here." Well, he can drink it because lives in Portugal, and
He's been drinking his whole life.
He's been drinking his whole life. His body can handle that bacterias. I, on the other hand, am not acclimated to that. So we go out drinking, and then we get home, and I'm super thirsty. There's no bottled water, so I have a couple glasses from the tap water. That for probably 7 days, out of both ends, right? Literally, I've never shit my pants playing paintball until that day. I was playing the snake. I ran and dove into the snake, and I sharted myself. I had to play the rest of the match, and then I had to go to the porta potty and cut my underwear out, throw it away. I was literally throwing, by day 3 or 4, I'm throwing up blood. We extended this trip because Brandon Shore, Alex Savino, Bobby Avila's, a bunch of our friends, we wanted to make this a trip. We're like, hey, let's stay
to remember
several days after, right? So I'm 7 days in Malaga, Spain, with the worst food poisoning, or not food poisoning, but stomach virus of my entire life, coming out both ends, can't keep anything down. By day 3 or 4, I'm throwing up blood, and I'm like, dude, this is not good. So Bobby, our designated translator, I go with him to one of like the clinic stores. He tells them my symptoms. They give me these white pills in a box. I don't know what the hell they are. Take 2 a day. They're not really doing anything. We go to a bar. I'm like, I cannot drink.
You're still going to the bar.
And then the bartender, he's like, "What's wrong with you?" We tell him. He's like, "Oh, drink this Jaeger." And he tells me to drink Jägermeister to help my stomach. And I took a shot, and it actually helped me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, like a Jaeger or
I think
or
it was
Fernet.
Yeah. So that was a traumatizing experience. Shout out to Hugo for telling me I'm good on that water.
One thing I thought was really funny is I haven't even ever shit my pants playing paintball. Like you said that so. That's something that's a common thing that happens. I haven't even done, yeah, no shit.
A lot of people have.
Really?
And they just don't tell you about it. I mean, Short's probably done it, 10 times.
I can see that.
I can see that.
I haven't even shit my pants playing paintball. I didn't even think that was something.
That's ever happened to you?
No.
I bet he has. He just doesn't know.
Have you done it since then?
No, never.
Okay. Well, you said it like the way you delivered that made it sound to me like that's a very common occurrence.
How many of you guys out there have shit your pants?
Yeah, just comment low key on the comment section on this channel.
They're ahead of schedule. You got to run over to your match. You got a turtle peeking. It happens.
Huh. Oh man, that's a new thing for me. We should do a BKI video on
We'll take a toll. It'll be anonymous, so you guys can just do your voting.
Oh yeah, I can put it on the Instagram, on my Instagram story. Okay, I'll do a little clip from this, and I'll put.
Only those aren't anonymous. It shows their profile.
It shows the poll thing.
Well, you can see who said yes or no.
Oh really? No, you can't.
If you do yes or no, no, you can't.
Nah, it's totally anonymous.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Okay, well, that's pretty funny. I'd say we've already gone over my
Where's
my favorite.
Where's
place.
your favorite place?
So I have gone surfing in a bunch of different places. Actually, I've done South Africa. I think I saw a shark in the water. It could have been a trash bag, but I didn't want to play games.
Shark.
It was probably a shark. It was at dusk.
It's super scary.
They're like, don't surf at dawn or dusk. And I was like, I really need to get in the water.
Let me explain. South Africa, they have literally like a hill, and then they have dudes watching.
Yeah.
With the flags and the shark, the great white swims because they swim by the shore.
I'm gonna call it a shark. It was in Durban.
Oh, Durban. Well, they have
lots of bull sharks.
Everything.
Yeah, they got
bull
everything.
Sharks,
great whites.
Sharks.
Oh, those are the worst. The bull shark.
Alex Frazier just jokes and says that it was a trash bag. Anyway, South Africa was cool. I've surfed in Brazil also with when I went there for New Year's. That was kind of fun. Obviously, the best place I've ever surfed is the Mentawai Islands. We got to go there. On a surf trip.
Did you take the boat trip? Or?
I did the boat. So I stayed on the Macaronis Resort.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So I got a video on my YouTube channel of that as well. Just surfing the Mentawais. It was pretty cool. That was like one of my top experiences of my entire life. As far as anything I've done.
Real quick too. I'm gonna grab my passport.
Your passport's in the trunk.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Do you think I just pulled over here?
Yeah.
All right. Way to prep on that one. I could have just pulled over in that little area right there. All right. Yeah, I got you. Let's see here. Well, my worst... Oh, man. Mikko. Doesn't know where the button is. One of my worst experiences, I think, would have been in Egypt. I think that place is just lousy. That is one of the lousiest places I've ever been. Man. The pyramids are probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking about Egypt.
Oh.
But the people, everything surrounding Cairo is just filthy. They just throw the trash in the streets. It's so overpopulated and everybody is out to like somehow scam you, right? It's just such a strange culture. Oh, look, there's the paintball. Man, we got to get with that guy. It's just such a strange subculture or just regular culture there that everybody, and I get it, like everybody's trying to survive, everybody's trying to eat, but it's like every single thing that you do is exit through the gift shop. Every single thing you do is this guy brings you to his buddy's place because he gets a commission if you buy the papyrus or if you buy this or if you get on the horse here. And it's just
super annoying.
It's just so exploitive of what they have there, and it's really unfortunate, and it's just so disgusting, and it's just everything is just like an over warm exposed picture. Like when you turn the warmth up on the saturation or whatever it is on your camera and you take a photo and it's just everything's that orange color. So you got your seatbelt on back there?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going on to the military base right now. So anyway, so I didn't get sick, surprisingly. Because we did eat like camel liver. Morning, how you doing?
Got some paintball?
Yes, please.
Just gonna follow that big truck on the right, okay?
On the right?
Yep, that right, forward.
Yep. I didn't get food poisoning, surprisingly, because we were eating camel liver and camel dick and camel kidneys. And, dude, that was a culinary experience like none other. These guys were so jazzed that we were eating camel. And then I'll give a...
How did camel taste?
If you've ever eaten liver tastes very similar. Liver, kidney, like that's something. It's just...
I've actually never had
liver, and it tastes like liver.
It just tastes like liver. Like liver is a very, very acquired taste. Like you have to really be into eating liver. Like it's very metallic. I just don't like it. It's like soft and kind of mealy. It's like a mealy apple that tastes like like licking metal.
I like liver.
Okay, you like liver.
Yeah.
There you go. Whew. And then the kidney was very strange like consistency, and it looked very odd as well. And I don't know. I'm just not an organ person. I just don't like eating organs at all. I don't play that game. So, well, I did and I have, but I just don't like to. That's not my thing. So I'd say that was probably one of the worst trips. Like I would love to see the pyramids again in greater detail, and see some of that stuff outside of all the other cool archaeological sites. But I just don't think I could ever bring myself to flying back to and dealing with the Egyptian people. It was so gross.
Too much saturation.
Yeah, it was just the whole place was oversaturated on the Instagram filter. Yeah, so that's kind of where I was at. I have a really funny story about Turkey, but about a Turkish bath. Have you ever had a Turkish bath, Mikko?
Yep.
What's that? What's that?
We might have to do a bonus feature on the ride home because we're just pulling up to the paintball field. A Turkish bath is well, unless you're really close with your homies or with the other random people in the room, it could be probably the most uncomfortable experience of your life. It's definitely something that's scarred in my life.
You guys just bathe in the same bathtub?
No. It's not an Ironman hot tub party. It is substantially different and substantially more invasive of an experience. So what we'll do is, because we're just here at the paintball field, we're sitting at 41 and a half minutes right now on this video. We'll do a bonus feature on the Turkish bath, okay? And I'll either release it with this one or I'll release it afterwards. But I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of Drive Through with Scott Kemp and Mikko Huttunen.
We'll get the poll going on who's sharded and who has not sharded playing paintball.
Yeah, stay tuned.
And be honest, guys.
Yeah, Scott was honest. All right, see ya.